Hello everybody! Today I thought I would do a office tour. Now I don't think I ever did a proper in-depth office tour at my old house. I think there is a random video somewhere a while ago where I did a little desk tour. If there is, I'll link that in an iCard. But you may know, if you have been following my channel recently, that I recently moved house and I am so incredibly lucky to have an actual office to use, and this is where I'm stood now. It's a dedicated office space, it's just for me. I thought I would give you a look round. Now it's not going to be super duper in depth. I'm going to show you around the room and kind of show you some of the things that inspire me and why I've decorated them in a certain way. You will also notice there are little patches of tester paints, so I am going to very briefly talk about what I want to do with this space. So I'll tell you a little bit about that, but I'm hoping to keep this as like a short, fun little intro to my space so that you know where I am and what I'm doing when I tell you that I'm working in my office. So let's jump into it. Right, so I've put the 0.5 zoom on the iPhone so that you can kind of get a sense of the whole room. But this is one half of the room. In here, there is a door that goes through to my living room. That door goes through to the upstairs. Stanley's there, slightly in disgrace today because he started scratching the brand new sofa. So that's why he's sitting there looking all mardy, because he's been told off. And then if we pan around to this side of the room, then we've got what is basically the other side of the office space. So I was just stood kind of there, and you can see the bookcase that was in the back of the other shot, and then that door there goes downstairs to our kitchen. So it's kind of like you get kind of foot traffic through here, but it's quite nice. It means that this space is kind of a little bit communal. I'm not really sure what you would have done with this room if it wasn't an office. The previous owners used it as an office space as well. So as you can see, it's very light. It's got two big windows. I don't want to dox myself too much, but that's about as much as I'm willing to show. So that's kind of the overview. We've got the bookcases. Now, if you did see my old house, if you knew my old house, you'll know that these two bookcases were originally in the dining room, but we didn't really have anywhere else to put them in this house. And I thought, well, I might as well have them in my office and make them into like a lovely library space. Oh, look, it's me. Hi. So this is my bookcase. Just a little random rundown of the different books that I own. But there's Stanley in his little bed. Yeah, we won't disturb him too much. Yeah, I need to do something with this. This box here basically has all my sewing things in it. I'm trying to get to a place where I can make my own clothes. I will find a space eventually for my sewing things. For the moment, I kind of just tuck it there. But to be honest, you know, I could have hidden all of that. I could have moved it all and put like a nice plant in the place. But I didn't want to. I wanted to keep it a bit realistic. This is literally what my office looks like on a day-to-day. So, and then we've got a pussycat. So I put this on here recently because Stanley likes to jump up and lay on the desk when I work. It's obviously not really conducive to getting good work done when I'm at home. So I popped this bed up here and he loves it. He's been on it ever since. Like, he just loves being up there. And then in the window, we've got a notepad that has a C on it that my sister bought for me a good few years ago now. It's not really practical as a notepad, but it makes a nice piece of decoration. And then I've got my Mad Eye Moody and Cedric Diggory little Lego characters, and then a candle snuffer, which, you know, Tom took the piss out of me when I said I wanted a candle snuffer, but he did buy it me for my Christmas present, so he's a good one. And then over here, there's a candle. This Pride and Prejudice vase is actually another present from Becca. She knows me so well. And she bought me that. I haven't put any flowers in it yet, though. I need to get some flowers to go inside it. And then Everyday Shakespeare. That is a really good book. It's basically 365 dates in the year, and for every day the authors have picked out a Shakespeare quote. So every now and again, I'd love to do it every single day, but I don't. Every now and again I go in, I flick to the date that we're on, and I see what the Shakespeare quote is for the day. And then down here I've just got juice, inevitably a cup of tea on the go, although usually I have coffee, but it's tea today. And then just pens. They're usually book related mugs that people have bought me over the years. I've got a Ann Lister coaster and a little Chinese good luck cat that Tom bought me from Shanghai when he went. And then this is the main office area. I basically have a little drawer under here where I keep just random bits, energy bars, things for cleaning my glasses, candle, lighter. And then my keyboard, which does slot under there in that space. I've got my mouse. Recently I had to buy a new one of those because my old one broke. kind of nearly broke my heart to spend £80 on a mouse, but you know, there's what it is. But yeah, I am very lucky to have 2 screens. It just makes working so much easier if I'm working across a really big spreadsheet, or sometimes on pieces of design work. So if we've got a brochure coming out for something, I can have the brochure draft on one screen, and then I can have my edits note or my emails open on the other screen. And then here I just got a few little trinket bits. Tom 3D printed me this little robot ages ago. So he stands there. I've got my Good Luck Portuguese chicken. I've got a Ghost Merchants of York ghost that I selected from the shop when I went with Melissa. And then a couple of other little bits. Obviously got a Greek evil eye to keep out the baddies. And then a coin, which this coin is actually from 1702. Don't know if you can just see the dates down the bottom. So I like to have something of history kind of on my desk with me to remind me of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then over here, we've got a little picture of my grandma. She comes everywhere with me. She's been on every desk that I've had. My candle, which is called Pemberley Rain. It's a bookish candle. I got that from when we went away for our anniversary in June, and I got it from Leyburn. There was a really lovely bookshop in Leyburn, and I picked that up, and I picked the other one up as well. And then behind I've got a little Fortnum & Mason box, which, to be honest, I used to use a lot, but I don't since we got to the new house. At the moment it is holding my tester, my paint tester for the walls, which, as you can see, I've been testing out different cream colours. I'll come back to that in a minute. Over here, we've got a random bookcase. Now, I'm not a fan of that kind of industrial scaff plank style. If you're into it, then I'm happy for you. Everybody has their own tastes. It's just not really to my taste. This was left by the previous owners of the house. I'm going to get it taken down eventually, but for now it stores all the extra books that don't fit in the bookcases. This is my big plant. This is Jacques. Jacques has been in the family for quite a lot of years now, probably going on for nearly 10 years. My mum looked after him and named him Jacques when we moved to France, and she looked after him because obviously I didn't want to take him all the way to France because I didn't think he'd really survive. Mum looked after him, and he thrived at my mum's. He really loved it, and I feel like I'm not as good a plant parent as my mum is, but I keep him alive and he's very strong. But he looks healthy enough. He had a really big drink yesterday. And then here we have my Calax. Now, my sister hates Calax, but I think there's a time and a place for them. And for me, I really love being on calls on my computer, on Zoom calls, and having like my Calax and my books in the background. It just creates a really lovely background for Zoom calls. And what I've actually done down here is I keep my kind of historical research books, so anything that's about country houses, country house history, that kind of thing. So again, I'm not going to go into them all, but you can have a quick look if you like. And then I've got my books. It's really handy to have them here actually for if I need to grab a couple of copies to take to an event or something like that. And then below I've just got baskets. I'm not going to go into what's in them. There's things like camera gear, electricals, and then of course we've got all my lovely decorations on top. So again, I'm not going to go into loads of detail of what I've got here, but some more country house related books. Of course, Mark Girouard, Life in the English Country House, which is like the Bible to most people who study country house history. My little Hagrid. I absolutely love him. I really want another one. What are they called? Itty Bitties. I really want like a Hermione Itty Bitty. But I think they've stopped making them now, so you can only get them on eBay. So I might have to get myself one. In Praise of Folly, Alison bought me that. Tom's mum bought me a little miniature book. And then obviously my lovely play button, which I'm going to have to make one, aren't I? I'm going to have to do something for 1,000 followers because you don't get anything for 1,000. Again, so I'm going to have to make something else. So what shall I do? When we get to 1,000 followers, what shall I make? I could do something really boring like get Tom to 3D print one. But I kind of feel like I want to make something. Maybe I'll make a cushion and sew it out of fabric and then stuff it with stuffing. What do you think? Let me know. Please tell me what I should do in the comments and I'll do it. And then another candle. This one's called The Library. And yeah, I usually have Pemberley Rain up there actually, but I haven't lit them before. I've lit them especially for you and this video. I've lit them, so I can't actually smell anything at the moment. I literally don't smell of anything yet, but it's only just been lit, so I'm sure it will do eventually. A horn, Viking horn, because I don't know. I like Viking history. I like Viking kind of things. I have a lot of affinity with kind of Viking history, Viking folklore, and Viking men. Not gonna lie, that's my type. Speaking of my type, did you like that segue? I have my typewriter. Now this was a functioning typewriter at once upon a time. In fact, annoyingly, it is now typing. but there's some kind of problem with it. It doesn't work 100% properly, and what I actually need to do is send it off to somebody to be fixed. But for now, it provides a nice backdrop. And then I've got another plant up here with a little baby that's looking a bit straggly. I have to say, I don't really know how to keep spider plant babies alive and keep them attached to the main plant. I have tried. There were 4 babies on here originally. I took 2 off and planted them in other planters. They've since died. So I've left those 2 on there. They don't look great, but the main spider plant itself is doing really well. Yeah, I've got a little cabinet here. Again, more random storage of things. Diaries that didn't sell, that's funny. Camera stuff, etc. And some Dickens books that I have there for my lamp to go on top. I do also have here Stanley's scratching pole and a little chair. And then in here, I have got, oh yeah, spider alert. Spider warning. If you don't like spiders, look away. This is our boiler cupboard, but actually my printer goes in here and just a lot of other crap really that needs sorting at some point, but I don't have anywhere to store these kind of things, so they go in there for now. And again, the same down here. So yeah, that's it really. That's the whistle-stop tour of my office. Oh, I did say I was going to talk about what I want to do, didn't I? So I don't necessarily think I'm going to change the layout, but I am going to paint over the blue. I had a blue kitchen at the old house. I loved blue at the old house, but for some reason, I just don't think it works here. So I am going to change it to this kind of creamy colour. I put some testers kind of all over, and I think I'm going to go for this top colour. It's nice. It's kind of a warm, creamy colour without being too yellow. I am just going to follow the line of the blue. So basically what you see on camera as being blue now will just become cream. I could paint the whole room. I'm not a huge fan of the geometric lines, the kind of off lines, but I think it's one of those things, it ain't broke. It'll look fine. I've got blue blinds up at the window. I don't like them. I'll find some new blinds. There's a few little bits I can do just to titivate it at the moment, basically. So those are all going to come down those shelves. I am going to look at getting a new shelving system put up there again, so I can put more books up there, maybe a couple of things from the cupboard that I've mentioned before. I'm going to remove the carpet. We have laminate in the living room. It's not in the best condition, as you can see. The previous owners have spilt paint on it. But I just think laminate throughout will be nicer. Now, don't get me wrong, in winter, having a carpet is probably good because it'll keep the room nice and warm. But for me, I like laminate. And also, we've got a cat. His fur does come off in clumps. I just think laminate is easier to clean. So that's about it in terms of plans. Oh, there's also, again, if you're into this style, I'm not trying to purposefully insult it, but that light is not my style. I have seen some lovely ones. I'll insert a picture because I did take a photo of them when we were in Portugal. Some lovely lights that were like that on a strand, but they had like little wicker shades around them. So I think I'm going to see if I can find some like that and then replace them. These are bolted to the wall, by the way. You could probably see up in the corner there. There's a bracket holding them to the wall, just because I didn't want them to fall over anyway and break, but it'd have broken my heart if they'd have fallen over and landed on Stanley. So they have been bracketed to the wall, and the Kallax isn't going anywhere because it's very wide. So yes, that is my office space. I hope you like it. Let me know which bit of the office is your favourite. This is where I get to create, I edit my videos, I write books, I do all my day-to-day work, and yeah, I mean, I pretty much spend 90% of my life in here. Especially at the moment with everything that's been going on with all of the work I've been doing. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time in here, but it's lovely, it's cosy. I feel so lucky to have it. Like I say, this is not in any way to kind of show off. It's just, I spend a lot of my time here and I share a lot of my life as a writer and as a creator, and the space that I do that in for me is really important. I have to feel inspired by my surroundings, and I want to have a professional backdrop for things like Zoom videos when I'm talking to clients. So that's why I went for like having a proper office space, and I just feel so lucky to have it. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've watched this video and you're not already a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. We're getting quite close now to 1,000 subscribers and I'm so excited. So help me get that little way further if you can. If you're already subscribed and you're one of my long-time viewers, or maybe if you've only just subscribed, please do things like liking, comment, sharing. That always really helps as well to kind of boost me through the YouTube algorithm. Oh, Patreon. I keep forgetting to mention Patreon. I have some lovely patrons. Thank you so much to everybody who supports me on Patreon. If you would like to and you have some spare cash, I know there's not a lot of that going around at the moment. We are in an economic crisis. I get it. Liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that stuff is completely free of charge and is valued just as much. If you do have a little bit of extra cash and you want to kind of support me as a creator, then please do consider signing up to my Patreon. All the details are in the description, and everything that I earn through Patreon will go towards me being able to buy better kit and or spend more time writing as I grow. That's the ambition, is that I can reduce the amount of freelance work I have to do and I can increase the amount of time I can write. So that's the long-term ambition. Right, I'm going to go and I'm going to go drink my tea because it's probably cold now. But yeah, thank you very much again for watching, and I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye.